Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. You are joining the Bold Women Society Let's Get Bold weekly call. And I'm just waiting for a couple of people to jump on for us to get started. But it is a happy Tuesday to all of you. Let's see here. Amanda looks like she is here. So, let's see here. Isn't it always fun to learn how to do this? I'm Hey,
here.
Amanda.
Hi. Yeah, it always takes a second for it to actually connect. So, yes,
Welcome,
excited.
welcome.
Happy Tuesday. Oh, and
Hey,
Sarah's here as
Sarah
well. Hi,
Burns.
Sarah.
Hi, how are y'all?
We're great. How are you doing?
Good. Coming to you from the truck.
I love it.
Making it work. I love
That's
it.
right.
You're a woman on the go. You gotta just roll with the punches, right?
That's right.
I love it. Well, welcome everyone who is joining us, and welcome everyone who is going to be watching this later. Amanda and I are co-founders of Bold Women Society. Amanda, say hi.
Hi.
So at Bold Women Society, we want to share stories of everyday women like you and me who are doing bold, badass things. And we are so excited because today we have Sarah Burns with us. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay, a quick note about Sarah. Sarah is an incredible advocate for women and girls. She is an advocate for sexual assault survivors, for domestic violence survivors, and for abused and neglected children. Not only that, she is a mom to the cutest little MBB, that's his initials, who she calls her miracle child. And her everyday role is being the chief marketing officer for Dallas Children's Advocacy Center. Sarah is phenomenal. I've known her for many years, and we just cannot wait to hear about what is going on in your career and in your life, Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I hope I can offer some advice or insight or probably just offer more questions.
You know what? We appreciate that because there's a lot of questions that we as women who are trying to have the best corporate life that we can, but also have the best life outside of work. There's lots of questions that we still don't have the answers to.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
and it honestly it feeds right into exactly what we're doing with Bold Women Society and what our vision is of Bold Women Society. So, for those of you who are joining us who aren't familiar with us, so our whole goal with Bold Women Society is to help professional women release any narrative, belief, anything that they're questioning in their mind that's stopping them from getting to that next level, for them going after whatever that big audacious bold goal, or for chasing their dreams, whatever that is. And our ultimate vision is to just create a world where all women are unapologetic in the way they show up in those pursuits, right? We want them to be their best selves. We want them to show up fully and to step into their greatness and to just achieve all of these great things. And so questions, obviously there's a lot of questions that come up with that.
But I think that is a phenomenal entryway into Sarah, because one of the things that I know about you, Sarah, is that you've been very bold with your career. And you have gone from entry level communications marketing associate up to chief marketing officer. So let me ask you, just quickly tell us a little bit about your career. And then I want to hear, like, was there ever a time on this trajectory that happened pretty quickly? Did you ever have a time where you just felt unsure or maybe stuck about what your next step might have been?
Sure. I think one is I entered my career, I think, pretty intentional as far as the industry I would work in. So in the early 2000s, there wasn't a thing of social impact, business concepts, So really, I've focused on marketing and communications for nonprofits. And that's really out of a result. I was raised by a minister. And so to me, marketing is kind of ministering or being an evangelist about something that you are passionate in and believe in. And so I've been pretty intentional about staying within the nonprofit sector my entire career. And there's been advantages and disadvantages to that if I compare my career path to maybe a college friend that went corporate or private sector or even government.
Yeah.
And a lot of differences, but a lot of similarities in that I kind of think along the way, you know, you're just doing the best that you can with what you have and learning along the way. And sometimes making that next step, you don't always feel prepared or ready for it. Sometimes you get pushed into it. Sometimes you jump into it. But whatever that is, I've kind of feel like the fake it till you make it actually becomes some of your day to day until you start realizing, oh, I actually do know what I'm doing here. That I'm not faking it any longer. This is actually, you know, my skill set and my talents.
I love that. So tell us, what is the boldest move? Doesn't necessarily mean job move, but what's the boldest move you've ever made in your career?
Oh, boldest move. I kind of think, you know, anytime I've had to manage up, or I don't really like the term pushback, but maybe offer advisement to someone I'm reporting to. That can always feel really bold when there's, you know, maybe a skill set that I have or expertise that I have that the person I'm reporting to doesn't, and I have to kind of more enforce my opinion or my lived experience or my professional opinion. That always feels really bold because you're not sure what the response could be. It could be well received, or it could be, you know, not well received, and you know, you might get feedback of stay in your lane or whatever. So anytime where I've had to kind of fight for something I really believed in is always a bold feeling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And to play on that, so I'm curious, were there ever times when you're in those type of situations where you're lacking the confidence, where maybe you're
Oh,
questioning what you're doing before you're obviously, right, before you're even doing it? How does
yeah.
that play out for you? What do you do in those type of situations where your confidence is waning a little bit?
Well, I think any situation where you have to be really vulnerable and where there is a potential or a risk for rejection, um, that's, you know, to be vulnerable and bold, you know, you kind of have to overcome some of your fears, you know, and just have some self-confidence in what you know and what you believe and go for it and be prepared that, you know, the other person or the other party might not be as receptive, but at least you can walk away knowing that you did whatever you could, whatever it took, for the right thing to happen at the right time.
Oh, I love that so much. Oh, go ahead, Katie. I know you're about to say something.
Oh, you're fine. Sarah, one of the things that you keep saying over and over is what you believe in. And one of the things that I know about you is that you've studied strengths finders, you've
Mhm.
been involved with strengths finders, and you specifically have one of your top talents is this. It's called belief, and
Mhm.
very few people have it, right? We know it's one of the lowest ranking things. So tell us just a little bit about that and what that does to drive you, because it clearly drives you in the work that you're doing every
Mhm.
day.
I think probably that's maybe a product of my upbringing and my origin story. And one of the things I believe strongly in is justice. And a lot of people will tell you I hate injustice in all forms and fashion. So, you know, from, you know, somebody not getting the right service at the grocery store to I'm the, you know, the person that's, you know, maybe speaking up on behalf of somebody that won't speak up for themselves, all the way to social justice issues. Um, Belief is having that strength and knowing I can lean into it is, honestly, I kind of feel like it's a head start over a lot of other people. Maybe in your career, you don't really start addressing or assessing your values until maybe mid-career when you're getting some different types of professional development. And that's just something I've never had to figure out what my values were. I've always known it. And so for me, that's a little bit of a head start. And it's really how I try and operate in my career and in my personal life is by staying true to my beliefs and my values and, fighting for what's right.
I love this. So
Same.
let me ask you, because Sarah, one of the things that so you're the Chief Marketing Officer of Dallas Children's Advocacy Center. Would love for you to tell us what an advocacy center is. And I want to hear, what is the biggest area, either in your role or within the world of advocacy centers, that you're curious about, and why is it? And why should we as career women, as corporate women, as entrepreneurs, like, why should we care about the work that you all are doing?
Sure. So children's advocacy centers are an amazing model that work on child abuse cases. And here in Dallas County, and a lot of advocacy centers are nonprofits. Some of them are maybe linked into the local government, but Dallas Children's Advocacy Center it's a mouthful to say, is one of the first in the nation. And we've been in Dallas since 1991. And we are a unique nonprofit in that we bring together, oftentimes within our own building, the investigative parties for child abuse cases. And here in Dallas County, we work on those that rise to the level of a criminal offense. So this is the worst of the worst. It's, the thing at a dinner party when people ask me what I do, and then I tell them what children's advocacy centers do. They want to change the conversation because no one really likes to talk about the realities of child abuse. And the reality is that it happens way too often. And the perpetrators are often someone that the victim knows and trusts. And so children victims are being violated by those closest to them, those that are supposed to love and protect them. And instead, they're experiencing sexual assault or physical assault. We also work on child death cases, and then also in cases where a child may have witnessed a violent crime. So more often than not, those are domestic violence acts of crime that they've witnessed. So DCAC brings together those investigative parties. So we're bringing law enforcement together, CPS together, healthcare if it's needed. Those all come together, and then our staff also interview the child to get their story. Those are called forensic interviewers. And then we also offer healing services to the child and their non-offending family member. We know that abuse, especially traumatic events and abuse, can affect the whole family. So our social workers and therapists work to bring healing to the entire family. And then as the case goes to court, we're there to help that family along the way throughout the entire journey. So we're really a unique nonprofit in that we work alongside investigators, but we're also able to see the other side, what happens with healing.
Wow. So, I'm kind of at a loss for words. I mean, what you do is it's very heavy, but it's very needed.
Right.
And how you mentioned people at dinner parties, kind of, okay, let's change the subject because
Right.
It's kind of an uncomfortable topic, but it is very much something that needs to be addressed. And so very, very thankful for the work that you were doing. I have a question about when you're dealing with children and the families, a lot of negativity is around that. Is there anything that you do personally in your life to help keep a positive mindset, to kind of not let it affect you 100%, like down to your core? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, I don't think anybody would be human if this kind of work didn't affect them. So I'm not gonna lie, it affects me in some form or fashion every day. I'm a parent and I'm also a survivor of child sexual assault. So, things are definitely triggered. I'll never forget, I think the first year I worked at DCAC, I saw a little boy walking through our hallways on his way to be interviewed, and he was wearing a sweater that my son actually owned, the same sweater, and he was about the same age as my son was when he wore that sweater, and we have family pictures of it. And it definitely took my breath away as a parent or a godparent or aunt or uncle. It's hard to imagine anyone not even wanting to, but being okay with hurting a child. Just that innocence and all the potential there. So it can definitely be triggering. A lot of what I like to do, for everyone on our staff, it's different. A lot of what I like to do is disconnect from the media, the news media, social media, even. I rarely read the comments on news stories and that kind of stuff, but also just leaning in to the people that I love, and being grateful for the gifts that I have. So I spend a lot of time with my boys. I like to be where the people that I love are.
I love this, Sarah. So you've just told us about the amazing work that the Advocacy Center has done. We've learned a little bit about your career. I want you to tell us about Save Jane. And
Yeah.
how did that go from being a movement here in Dallas to being something that's in cities like Denver and Albuquerque and other places in the country, that just combines your career prowess in helping these kids?
Yeah. Yeah, so Save Jane is an integrated marketing and awareness campaign that we launched in 2019. And they're really just kind of thinking in how to communicate in the Dallas community about the magnitude and the volume of child abuse, as well as what DCAC does. One of our challenges is always protecting the identity of children, not only because they're children, but also these are active, open investigations. And so I never want to compromise a case. And just really, the creative team I worked with on this project, we constantly talked about the anonymity. And even though the community didn't know each child's name, our staff, our expert staff that work every day, they know every child's story. They've read the cases, they've worked the cases. They know everything about that child and their family. And even though we have expert staff at DCAC, we still need the community's involvement to help us do that work. And so Save Jane was, we decided to lean into that anonymity and kind of go against our challenge. And so that's where the creative and the campaign was developed. And then also just intentionally, having worked in nonprofits, I really wanted something that could be a framework or a template for other organizations to use if they wanted to, if that fit for their market. And so I think we have about 31 other organizations that are either have done the Save Jane campaign or looking at doing it, including Denver and Albuquerque, Texarkana, some in Oklahoma, some Maryland, West Virginia. So to see that excitement, that message resonates in communities beyond my own is exciting, but also it's super satisfying and exciting to be able to help other people in roles like mine at nonprofits where maybe you don't have the resources, that if you would have if you were in marketing in a private sector. So it's been great to help other organizations kind of get a jump on things, and maybe not have to start from scratch.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but here in Dallas, it's an event where the Save Jane event where you have volunteers and they stand up and they say Jane Doe, John Doe.
Yeah.
Is that right? Tell us a
Yeah,
little
so
bit.
there's a in-person kind of event component to there's billboards and print ads and social and digital ads, and then an in-person event activation, and where we ask the community to come and volunteer and help us read those names, because our staff at the start of coordinating the investigation, they're reading every report of child abuse that comes into the statewide intake hotline. And so I think last year was over maybe almost 29,000 reports of child abuse that our staff read. And then if what's in the report rises to meet our criteria, then we start coordinating that case and getting the investigation going. So we really wanted to impart on the community, again, the volume. And so we asked the community to come and join us and read Jane Doe or John Doe and the child's age for every report of abuse that our staff had read the year before. And it took us about 27, 28 hours nonstop to read all of those names.
And that was just here in the Dallas Fort Worth
Right.
area, right? So that's not even
Right.
including and that's only what we even know about what's been documented, which is
Right. That's
scary.
only what's been reported. Yes, which is scary.
And that's
Because we know there's so much more
Dallas
out there.
County.
Just Dallas County.
You're
Yeah.
not including Tarrant, Collin, Denton, etc.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Just Dallas County.
Wow. So Sarah, your work is not only just you and bringing your skills to the table, but the work that you're doing is literally changing people's lives. And, you know, obviously like you, I would love for us to see child abuse and neglect and sexual assault on children be completely eradicated. But that might not happen anytime soon. So the work that you're doing and the team is amazing. And thank you for dedicating your life, your career, at least this point of your career, because I think that's very selfless of you to say, I believe in this so much that I'm going to do this. So let me ask you, what is your next bold goal? And it might be career related, it might not be, but tell us, what is your next bold goal?
You know, I'm actually in the process of kind of figuring that out. We did move last spring, which was a pretty bold goal for my little family. And our son switched schools and we've entered a new community. And honestly, that's probably been, I don't know, maybe that's my bold thing that I did this year. So, you know, that was a big change for all of us. And I've been really proud of our family and, you know, the things that we did to move and get plugged into our new community. But I am trying to figure out kind of not what's next, but, you know, where I can make more of an impact is really what I'm looking at career-wise. I feel like I've been climbing for a little while. I've been very very goal focused on, you know, achieving a lot of big career milestones. And I'm really looking forward to achieving some milestones with my little family, some, you know, trips and, you know, volunteering in the PTA and, you know, things like that. Not as exciting.
It's not any less exciting. And you hit on
it's
something.
Not.
I mean,
yeah.
No. I mean, it's everything that is you and your
Right.
life and the life you're trying to build, right?
Yeah.
And that's important. So don't undermine it. Don't try to
Thank you.
minimize it, right?
Yeah.
You know, and something that is really important that you just said too is being able to sit and recognize what you have achieved, feeling the excitement around that. Because I think, especially as women, especially as professional women, like, you know, we have a lot of goals and we're like, I have to get to this level, and then there's this, and then there's this, and it's just constantly the next thing. And we are very reluctant to just sit and just relish in, oh my God, I did this, I made it here, like, look what I did, and just sitting with that before you're just running off to the next thing and pushing it under the table and minimizing it, because it's very easy for us to do that.
I really think the pandemic has helped me be able to sit and listen and kind of be still and honestly place as much value on my home life as my career and vice versa. and really, you know, I think those lines between home and career are always going to be blurred for women, especially. And so just maybe not having hard lines, but fluid boundaries where, you know, I can be the same person in every situation versus having a home life and a career life. I really, you know, my life is my life. It's all the things together.
Yes, that idea of fluid boundaries. That's something, Amanda, I think we might need to explore with Bold Women's Society, because Sarah, so many women, they face that. And it's that showing up authentically no matter where you are. So tell us, where can our audience find you? Where do you hang out the most? Where can they connect with you?
Oh gosh. So I'm an early adopter on social media. So my handle is usually Sarah Burns on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So find me there. Um, Come say hi. You can find me. Our Dallas Children's Advocacy Center social handles are at Dallas CAC. So find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, all the things, or visit us at dcac.org. And then I'm really hanging out on TikTok a lot lately. But I hope you don't find me there. I'm just kidding.
So you're there to scroll, not to post.
I'm there to scroll. Yes. Yes. It's been a lot. I love TikTok. It's a lot of fun.
I have avoided it because I just can't get sucked into anything else. But I've heard it's amazing.
Oh, you will love it, Katie. You'll love it.
Well, Sarah, on behalf of Bold Women's Society and Amanda and I, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being the bold you. Thank you for showing up in your career and your life as the bold badass that you are. And
thank you
for sharing your story that can inspire another woman.
Thank you for, you know, inviting me, and also, you know, inspiring me, especially you, Katie. I feel like when we worked together, like, you taught me about fundraising. You taught me so much about fundraising, but also about being bold and, you know, going for what's best for you. And so thanks for continuing to inspire me and teaching me so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I accept that. I'm learning how to take things in.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you again.
Bye. You too.